In today's installment of Data Governance with Collibra, we're going to cover metadata ingestion using Collibra's newer catalog connectors. If you're on older versions of Collibra 5.6 and before, you probably used Mule to ingest metadata, which would mean creating Mule flows, which were very flexible but pretty complex and needed a lot of technical expertise. So what Collibra has done in newer versions is provide these JDBC-based drivers, and I'm going to show you how we use those. So here we are on the catalog page of DGC. You just need to go and click on Create, and that automatically shows you the data sources that you can register using these drivers. So if you already have your own, you can use this option here, or what they would recommend is actually use something that Collibra already has in the marketplace. I can show you the marketplace right here. When you do a search on JDBC drivers, you'll see quite a few that are already in place today. Today we'll be using the SQL Server. So our data source that we're going to show is a SQL Server database. And I've already downloaded this JDBC driver, which I've already installed in DGC. And this step is where you provide your schema information. So we're just going to use a customer database, provide some description if required, click on next. And this is where you pick your driver and your connection details. So as I mentioned before, this is a couple of drivers that we have already had in place. We can click on Manage Drivers, and that'll show you the configuration that we have used on these drivers. So this is a SQL Server driver. There's a version number associated with it. And these are the properties that we took from the Collibra documentation specific to SQL Server. I can show you that really quick. The DGC Guide 5.7 tells you how to register a JDBC driver. The important properties that you need to make sure and have are the server, database, and schema, and port information if you require. And these are all configurable, but it has to follow the guidelines in the documentation. I'm not going to change any of these because I've already pre-configured it. So I'm going to go back and continue my process of setting up my metadata connection. Okay, we took a little pause there so that I could fill out all the information on the screen. SSC, there's a server name, there's a port, the database name, the schema, and your username and password to connect to your database. So that's kind of most of the important properties that you need to connect to your data source. I click on next, and it's going to go and try to connect right now. And so that is done. So it's able to make the connection. And Collibra asks you a couple more profiling options here. Do you want to store data profile? Do you want to detect advanced data types, sample data? You could pick any of these. Let's say store data profiles and do a create. As you can see here on the activities tab, it says your schema has been created. So that was pretty quick because it's a really small schema. Sometimes this could take a while for it to create. All right, so you can see the schema is completed. You can say show more if you want to go to the activities tab, and that's your JDBC schema that just got ingested. Click on the results. It tells you the details, the time, duration. Obviously, like I said, it was really a small schema just for test. So now you want to see where your schema got ingested. So go back to the dashboard, and Collibra puts it by default under the business analyst community. I think that's something that they probably would need to change eventually, where we could customize where it goes to. But for now, it brings all the schemas here under the schemas. And there it is. This is the one that we just ingested. It was a customer database, if you remember. I click on it, and you can see all the metadata from our customer database imported into Collibra. There's a lot more you can do with this, but that's for another video. Thank you.